Audio Jungle.
Hi everyone, it's Krista. Welcome to my channel. Today is all about Halloween. So if you like Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift flips, farmhouse decor, seasonal decor, you've gone to the right place. So if you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe, hit the button, also leave me a comment. I love to hear what you guys think, and give me a thumbs up. That helps my channel. Today is all about the Minis Challenge. It is all about fall and Halloween, and it is hosted by Crafted by Corie. But we'll get into that in a minute. First, on to DIY number one. So my first DIY I am showing you is a DIY with this little gnome that I got from the Dollar Tree Target spot, and also this little score and from the Dollar Tree, and also I'm going to use some of my acrylic pens. These are called graffiti pens. I can leave you a link down below so that in case you guys are interested. And all I'm doing is coloring the gnome's pants, and I'm going to do the hat as well in the purple. But then I decided to come in with this paper hat that I found that I thought looked much cooler, and we end up using that instead. You see it right there. But because it covered the nose so much, I had to come in with my brown marker, and I just colored in the nose a little bit longer. I just made it a little bit longer so that you could see it a little bit. Now, this gnome's holding a pumpkin, so you'll see in a minute I'm going to put a purple pumpkin in his hand instead to match his decor that he is wearing. And I glued down the hat, and then I put this little blue sticker, boo sticker, in the center. And now I'm going to take one of these rub-on transfers, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put on this little spider on his hat. And all these are rub-on transfers. You just take the little film off and put it down, the little backing, then you put it down, and you just use your little scrapey tool, or you can use a credit card, whatever you have, and you just scrape it on, and it goes on just like that. Now I'm going to take the skewer, and I am going to cut that to size to make our witch a little broom. And I'm going to first use my paint marker in black, and I'm going to color the stick of the broom black. And then I'm going to take a little piece of my jute twine from the Dollar Tree. This is the little bit chunkier jute twine. And I put a little bit of glue on the bottom of the skewer, and now I'm going to wrap that around so it stays on nice and tight. And then I just fanned out the bottom so it looks like a broom. And now I'm just going to take a little piece of twine, and I'm going to tie that around the top of my broom. I just wrap it around with some glue and then glue it down to the top, just so that it looks like a actual broom. And then once I get that done, we're going to glue this little broom onto our gnome. And this comes out so cute. I mean, it was a fall gnome, and I was able to change it up and make it a Halloween gnome, which was super cute, you guys. And these little dollar Target spots are getting better and better. So there he is. So today's all about the Minis Challenge. We're making little minis. Mine, I'm doing Halloween, and it is hosted by Crafted by Corie. There will be a playlist and Corie's channel down below. Make sure you check everyone out, and I will show you the reveal at the end. So next, I'm taking one of these houses, also from the Target dollar spot. One of the wooden houses that you see there, it's like a wooden veneer from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that. And I'm also going to use a bat, the little boo with the ghost on it, and also the witch that's on here. So most of the stickers that are on there we're going to be using. Wood stickers, I should say. So now I took a piece of scrapbook paper. Now this scrapbook paper is Halloween scrapbook paper. I've had it like forever, but you could pick up scrapbook paper for Halloween or really any season at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So make sure you're always on the lookout for those. And I took this yellow scrapbooking paper, and I wanted to make it look like the windows were, you know, like the house was lit up inside. So what I did is I stuck it down to the paper, and then I took my little knife and I just carved around and got all that excess paper off in between. Because this haunted house is so detailed, I had to do it that way. There was just no way I was going to be able to stick scissors in there to cut it off. So then what I did is I took the little boo sign that was also on here in this sticker pack here of wood, and I decided to sand off all the glitter because I don't like glitter, and I used my lavender paint to color the boo sign because that's kind of the color I'm going with, the lighter color of purple. And then I just used my marker to color in the bat. Now we're going to glue this down to the front, and it's going to hide those words on this house. See how easy that was? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little moon cutout that I had and the boo, and we're just going to start gluing everything down. So I glued the moon to the top corner on the one side, and then I glued on the little bat in that corner as well. And then I glued on the little boo on the other side with the little ghost. And then what I did is I decided to take the witch that is also in this pack of wood veneers, and I just took off all of the glitter again, and I painted her hat with the purple marker, and then I went over the rest of it in the black. And then the bottom part of the broom, I ended up using this brown color, this light brown color that I had in the pack of markers, and just to make it look like a broom. And now I'm just going to glue that to the back of my house on the tippy top so it looks like she's flying away from the top of the house. Isn't that cute? So now DIY number 3. This one was super easy too. I took one of these plastic cauldrons that come in a pack, I think, of 3 or 4 from the Dollar Tree. One of those little clip-ons that the witch is sticking out of the cauldron. And then some of these styrofoam balls, and I just sprayed them with some, I wanted to make them purple, so I sprayed them with some water, and then I just used some of my purple paint, and I just switched it around and then put them aside to dry. Now I'm going to do the boots in black, and then I'm going to do her little stockings in the purple. And we're just going to leave that cauldron alone that's attached to it because you're not going to see that. Then I took off the little clip that comes on the back of these. And then I just went around with my steel paint by Waverly, and I just did a dry brush because I wanted this pot not to look so cheap and plastic. I wanted it to look more of like a stone cast iron look. Then I took one of these really cool stickers from the Dollar Tree that says Witch's Brew on it, and I stuck that to the front of the cauldron, just like that. And now we're going to take this little witch's cauldron that her legs are sticking out of, and we're going to glue that to the top. And then I'm going to take those little balls that we painted with the purple color, the lavender color, and I'm just going to start sticking those down in front. And so you won't be able to see the little pot where her legs are sticking out of because those little balls are going to cover that portion. And then I just made it look like a bubbling pot was coming over with all these little styrofoam balls. And this came out so cute because these balls were large ones, small ones, and then medium-sized ones. So I just kept, layering them where I wanted them. I just wanted it to look like the bubbles were coming out of the pot. And I also glued some to the back as well. So if it's on the tier tray and you see it from both sides, you're going to see that, everything looks like it was made together. And there you go, you guys. Isn't it cute? I love that one too. So now DIY number 4. You guys got to let me which ones you like the best. So then I took one of these from the Dollar Target spot again, and that is like a little cutting board. They have these all the time for all the holidays. And I took one and I painted it black. And now I'm going to take one of these from the Dollar Tree. They are the Klingons. And I just traced it around to where you could see the words. And now I'm just going to cut that off. and we are going to Mod Podge it onto the front of our little cutting board. And I believe it says the witch is in or something like that. And I just used a little Mod Podge, and I used my little spongy brush, and I just blended that in, and then I just stuck it to the top of the board. And then just to dress it up a little bit more, once I get these straight, it took me a few minutes, a few tries. I wanted to make sure it was completely straight, and then I also wanted to make sure there were no bubbles from the Mod Podge. And then I went over it with another coat of Mod Podge to seal it, just to make sure that wasn't going to come off. And then once we got that done, that's when I came in with a little felt sticker. It was a witch's hat. These come in a pack. And I took it from the Dollar Tree pack, and I just took that little sunflower off of it. I just felt like it didn't go. And I just took it right off and then stuck it to the top of my little cutting board. And that one's all done. Now DIY number 5. This one, all I'm going to do is make a beaded garland. So we're going to take one of these little witch's hats from the Dollar Tree that come in a pack, and some scrapbook paper, and of course the same colors we've been using, and some of that raffia that you saw that was purple that I actually found a couple years ago, and I've been using it for years now. So first I colored one side of the hat in the lavender and the other side in the black paint, and then I just went around the edges of the black side where the paint was with the lavender paint, just to kind of so that it kind of sticks out a little bit and gives it a little bit more interest. And I went all around the whole hat with that. And then what I did is I took a piece of the scrapbook paper and I cut it out to make a little, bottom part, band go around the hat. And I did one on the black side, on the lavender side in black, and then the other side I did with a purple. So see, it's double-sided. And now I'm going to take the string and I'm going to put it through the little hole on the top of the hat, and I'm going to tie a double knot so that it stays in there, on there. And then once I get that done, I always just take a little dab of the glue and I stick a little dab of glue on the end of it just to hold it in place. And then I just cut the excess off. And now we're just going to start stringing our beads. So some of the beads were already painted in black that I had, so I used those. And those were a little bit smaller of bead. And then I used a medium-sized bead, and I painted those with the lavender color. And I just did every other bead. So I did the one bead in one color and then the next bead. And I just kept alternating. And then once I got that all strung together, once I got it down to the end, what I did is I took the string and I tied it in a knot on the other side so that the beads didn't fall off. So I just did a double knot. And then what I did is I took the raffia and I wrapped that around my 4 fingers 20 times, I think, maybe more. And then I just took it off my fingers, and then I just tied it with the jute twine on the top, a little ways down, and I just tied a knot to make it look like a tassel. And then once I got that tied on, I tied it on to the actual beaded garland. But first I cut my loops, and then I just trimmed it so that it was all nice and even. And then I just tied it right on to my beaded garland in a knot. And that was it, you guys. And there is your beaded garland for my tier tray. Super cool. Now on to DIY number 6. This one was super simple too. Another dollar little frame that I got in the dollar spot at Target. All of these came from there, you guys, except for the beaded garland. But anyways, I painted it black, the whole thing, and now I'm going to use one of these little cards that came in a pack from my scrapbooking paper pad that I had, and I just cut this one out because I liked it, and it says the witch, something is brewing or something, I can't remember. I'm sorry. And then I just glued it into the inside of the frame that says something is brewing, or with the witches are brewing something like that. And then I took one of those wood stickers from the Dollar Tree. It was a witch's hat, and I just painted it with that lavender color, and then I just stuck it in the corner, and there is my little frame for my tier tray. DIY number 7. This is the last one. I took one of these little lanterns from the Dollar Tree, some picks from the Dollar Tree, and this lavender paint again, and I'm going to color it. I'm going to paint it with that color because I didn't want this dark pink. I liked the lighter one better because it went with everything. And then I took one of the picks apart, and I'm going to use these black leaves that were on the pick, and I'm going to glue those down to the top of my lantern. And we're just going to make it look a little more, how do I want to say, not so cheap, a little bit more elegant, dress it up a little bit. That's what we're doing here. So I just glued down the leaves first, and then I'm going to take the little stems with the balls on them, the black styrofoam balls, and I'm going to put those stems underneath and have them kind of hanging down. And then I'm going to also use one of these picks from the Dollar Tree as well. I think it comes in a pack of 2 or 3. And I think I just took this cluster here of these little berries that are purple. And I'm just going to glue them on the bottom, on the top, of the lantern. And they're kind of sticking out. So we're kind of making like a swag for the top of the lantern, basically. And then I took the little styrofoam black balls, and I'm going to stick those also down on the top. And then once I do those, I'm going to use the purple ones that you see there, little berries, and I clip those off of their little wire that was on them. And I just stuck those wherever I thought there was a little space that needed to have a little something. And then once I got those all stuck down, that was it. Super easy, you guys. And there it is lit up. And there it is not lit up. Well, there's your close-up, guys. I hope you guys like it. Thanks so much for watching. Check everyone else out. And remember, stay crafty. Bye.